Hey everyone, it's Jackie from Vegan Yack Attack, and I'm back, and I'm super excited about the video I'm sharing with you today. There are 2 new recipes out of the 5 little treats that I'm sharing in this little cookie box or cookie container. It's not really a box, doesn't really matter. Either way, everything is super delicious, and I know you're gonna love it. The first 2 recipes are the brand new ones. We have vegan candy cane cookies with sprinkles. They're very cute. And then some chocolate hazelnut crusted thumbprint cookies with a secret little hazelnut in the middle. Very, very good. I've eaten probably too many at this point, but we're not gonna go there. And then I have some peppermint s'mores fudge. I know that's not a cookie, but it's really excellent during the holidays and it goes so well in the box. And then we have some glazed cranberry orange scones that I made into little mini scones. Again, not really a cookie, but really great in this, and it kind of breaks up the chocolate flavors and peppermint flavors that are in there a bit. Nice and citrusy and bright while still wintry. And then lastly, I threw in just like a little bonus random snack that I kind of put together. I'm a fan of chocolate dipped pretzels. In this case, I took the broken pieces of the pretzel sticks that I had in my snack bag, and then I topped them with some vegan white chocolate and some sprinkles, and they turned into these very cute like abstract snowflakes. They're kind of a nice little cookie box filler that doesn't take all this effort like some of the other recipes. I've put the timestamps in the description below so you can fast forward, to whichever recipe that you do want. Otherwise, let's get started. First, we make our vegan candy cane cookies. Combine your hot water and some ground flaxseed, whisk together to make a flax egg. Now set that aside. And in a food processor, combine your vegan butter, sugar, and vanilla and peppermint extracts. Once that's whipped up, you can add in your flax egg. Just whisk it a little bit first. And you can scrape down the sides a little bit to make sure that you can puree a little bit more. Once combined, you can add in your flour, as well as your baking powder and salt. The cookie dough is ready when you can take a handful and compress it and it all sticks together. If it seems pretty dry, just add in a little bit of non-dairy milk. Split the dough in half, and to half of it add some gel red food coloring and incorporate it into the dough. I like to stir it with a spoon first and then knead it with my hand. I feel like it's much easier to do it this way. Once the color is even, just refrigerate both the doughs for about 10 to 15 minutes. After that, get a parchment paper lined cooking sheet and preheat your oven to 400 degrees. Take a chunk out of the dough and roll it into a rope that's roughly 3/8 of an inch wide in diameter. Cut the rope into 4-inch segments and do that with all of the dough. I actually like to start with the white dough instead because the work surface does get a little bit of food coloring on it. It's also helpful to warm the dough up a little bit in your hand after it's chilled. Makes it a little bit more pliable. So repeat this with all of your dough and just lay out the 4-inch segments. Then, this is the tricky part, you pinch the segments together and then twist while you're pinching it. It may crack a little bit, that's okay, it's not a big deal. Just kind of pinch like that, go over it, and then do a gentle roll on a flat surface. There you go. And then just gently shape it into a candy cane shape and repeat that with the rest of the segments. Now that the dough has warmed up a little bit because of your hands, you want to chill that for 10 minutes and then bake for another 11 to 12 minutes. While they're still a little warm, brush them with some non-dairy milk and then sprinkle red colored sugar over the red parts. Let it cool on the baking sheet before serving, and that's it. Now for the chocolate hazelnut thumbprint cookies. Again, start with making a flax egg by combining flaxseed with hot water. Whisk and set aside. Add your vegan butter, your sugar, and vanilla. Whisk your flax egg and add it in. Add your flour, plus baking powder and salt. Once the dough comes together, you can remove it from the food processor and chill it for 15 minutes. After chilling, take a 2 tablespoon size scoop, roll it in your hands to create a little puck, and then crust it with your finely chopped hazelnuts. You can press it a little bit more firmly than this to make sure that they stick to the sides. Then use your fingertip or your thumb to create a divot in the center. Then you can refrigerate the dough for 10 minutes before you bake for about 15. While they're cooling, press a hazelnut in each one. Now, we're going to cover them in chocolate. A little salt. Ta-da! Next, we have our glazed cranberry orange scones. In a blender, combine some water with raw cashews. Puree until pretty fine, then let it soak for another couple of minutes and puree again. Once smooth, Measure out 1 cup of the cashew milk. And then pour the remainder in a little ramekin so that you can save it for brushing on top of the scones. Return your 1 cup of milk back to the blender, along with some ground flaxseed and vanilla extract. Puree to combine. Once combined, set aside. In a large mixing bowl, combine your flour, your sugar, and your baking powder, as well as salt. Add 1 teaspoon of orange zest and mix until evenly combined. Now cut in your cold vegan butter until it has a gravel-like texture and size. You can use a pastry cutter, a fork, or like a whisk like I am here. Add your cashew milk mixture. And stir until it's mostly combined. Then add in your fresh cranberries. Stir again until completely combined. It will be a sticky dough, so don't worry too much about that. Then set the dough aside for 5 minutes to rest. You can do this in the refrigerator as well. Dust your work surface with some flour. A hefty amount, since this is some pretty sticky dough here. Now, fold the dough over itself to create some layers. So keep it nice and light once it's baked. And once it's been a few times, just press it down till it's about 3/4 of an inch high or thick and into a rectangle. We're going to end up cutting roughly 25 pieces out of this recipe. The regular recipe calls for 8 large pieces that are baked for 16 to 18 minutes. In this case, we need 2 baking sheets, and we're going to brush them with that leftover cashew milk. And once you have excess here, definitely save that because we'll need it for the icing. Now bake these mini scones for up to 13 or 14 minutes. While those are baking, sift some powdered sugar into a bowl. I like this way of using a whisk and a sieve. It's a little bit faster. And then you can press the little chunks out with your hand. Having really sifted powdered sugar helps a lot when you're stirring the glaze together. So now add in 2 to 3 tablespoons of non-dairy milk. We'll start with 2 here. Some agave nectar. And some orange extract. Plus a little bit more orange zest. Whisk that together, and if it's seeming pretty thick, add in another tablespoon of non-dairy milk. Whisk it until completely smooth, so So it's a little thick. You don't want it too runny, but definitely smooth. And then you can set that aside. Let your scones cool for probably 5 to 7 minutes before icing so that the glaze doesn't completely melt off. And again, you want this nice thickish texture. You can use a spoon or a whisk or a fork to drizzle it over the scones. Once those are done, as an option, you can add a little bit more orange zest over the top. Enjoy! Next, we're making our peppermint s'mores fudge. Place a pot over low heat and add about 1 inch of water to the pot. In a heat-safe bowl, so either metal or glass, have your chocolate chips, your coconut milk, the maple syrup, your vegan butter, and your peppermint extract, as well as a little bit of salt. Now carefully stir to combine. And again, you want it over low heat because to temper chocolate, it takes a little bit of time, and you definitely don't want to overheat it because then the texture is just absolute crap. So every minute or so, give your mixture a stir. You'll see that the chocolate chips start sticking to the side of the bowl. They're melting. And then once the chocolate chips start getting smaller and smaller, bring a whisk into this and whisk it until it's completely smooth. Once it is, turn off the heat. And add part of your vegan marshmallows, part of your chopped graham crackers. Here I have some gluten-free ones. And then part of your candy canes or crushed peppermint candies. Fold that in until it's evenly combined. In an 8x8 pan, which here I've lined with parchment paper, pour your fudge mixture. Make sure to get all of it. Now top with the remaining marshmallows. And here I have a blowtorch that I'm using to toast them. And I'm using actually a camera duster to blow out the flame, but you can use a baster, just a quick burst of air to blow it out instead of using your mouth. Next, top it with the remaining graham cracker chunks, as well as your crushed peppermint candy. And as an optional addition, you can add a little bit of coarse salt to the top, though it is highly recommended. Tap it down, push gently on the toppings so they're stuck in there, and then refrigerate for upwards of 1.5 hours to overnight. Once it's firm, or mostly so, you can take it out and chop it up, though I do recommend storing it in a refrigerator. For this last snack, it's a bit of an informal recipe. I basically just broke up pretzel sticks and used up the broken pieces at the bottom of the bag and formed these little snowflake shapes. I melted about 1/2 cup of vegan white chocolate in the microwave, in a microwave safe bowl, and just stirred it until smooth. You don't want it too hot because it becomes too runny. Then you just drizzle it around the center, making sure there's a good part in the center to hold it together. Sprinkle some white sprinkles over the top, and then chill it in the freezer until it becomes firm, which usually only takes about 10 minutes. And that's it. Then you have these cute, kind of abstract snowflakes that are nice and crunchy, a little sweet, a little salty. Highly recommend these. To put this all together, I used a takeout container that I had on hand, lined it with some cupcake liners, and then put a few pieces of each sweet treat in the container. Pop that lid on, and for a little extra flair, I added a ribbon. Just tied it up. You can always add a nice card or something in there if you want, or a tag with a name on it. And then I curled the ends using my scissors. Thanks, Mom, for teaching me that like 2 decades ago. And there you go. You have your little treat box. All right. I worked my little butt off on that video, so I hope you enjoyed it. I ended up making close to, actually, I think it was 9 or 10 of the little cookie containers from all of that, plus a little bonus fudge for myself. You know, gotta take care of me. You know, this cute little ribbon. I actually found this ribbon in a thrift store. So if you do want some disposable, you know, decorations and stuff, thrift stores are a way to go. That's where I got all my bows, and I reuse those too. So just a little hot tip for you. Plus, I don't know if you've noticed, I have my mug of coffee here to kind of match my sweater. If you don't follow me over on Instagram, we have some fun over there. I had a poll of, should I get a winter aisle sweater to match my mug? I actually got this at a thrift store as well. And everyone said yes. Not everyone, like 95% though. I love y'all for that. And then I had everyone vote on which sweater to pick out of like 7 choices. This was the winner, number 2. Got this on Poshmark, so secondhand as well. I think I added all of that to a story highlight, so you can go check that out. It was really fun. Like I said, lots of fun over on Instagram if you don't already follow me over there. But back to these cookies, super good. Obviously so cute. And then you can just prepare these like I did a couple days in advance. I just threw them in the refrigerator because I had some space. And then, you know, hand them out so that they're nice and fresh for everyone. And as always, you can find all of the recipe links in the description below. I also have some links for other cookies that I didn't make in this video, like my double chocolate peppermint cookies with some white chocolate glaze, and there's some chocolate Biscoff pinwheel cookies, also very delicious and cute. So cute, and look fancier than they take to make, in my opinion. So either way, check all those recipes out, enjoy your holidays, and I have a special video coming up in a couple of days to celebrate Christmas that includes a giveaway, so stay tuned for that. If you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.